I love survival horror, and I love exploring obscure games, so combining the two is always a blast. One of my favorite reviews I did was on Deep Fear for the Sega Saturn, so when I found out about another really obscure Resident Evil-like on a Sega system, I had to give it a go. February 24th, 2000, Carrier released on the Sega Dreamcast in Japan. It released close to the same time in North America, but in PAL regions we didn't get it until the summer of 2001. So PAL copies are really expensive because, you know, that was the year the Dreamcast was really starting to die out. It was developed by Jaleco, which has been around since basically the dawn of gaming, starting in 1978 with Pile Break, released for the arcades. Essentially just a breakout clone, which was pretty common for the era. They seem to be more of a publisher than a developer, but Carrier was made in-house. This title also released neck and neck with Biohazard or Resident Evil Code Veronica in Japan, so it had some tough competition. Booting it up gives us this really cheesy title screen. It really tries to go for that Resident Evil vibe, but it doesn't hit nearly as hard.
Resident Evil.
Carrier. Why does he say it like that? The opening text scroll is pretty long, but all you need to know is that there was some vague war called the North-South conflict. And it's kind of fucking bonkers because it's basically the entirety of the Northern Hemisphere fighting the entirety of the Southern Hemisphere. And the Northern Hemisphere has 90% of the world's population, so they obviously won. The South ended up with an energy crisis and severely lacked food, so they grew hatred towards the North, creating an anti-North terrorist group. In response to that, the North created the Northern Hemisphere Treaty Alliance, or NTA. In 2023, an aircraft carrier with weapons so powerful it could protect against any air attack, the Heimdall, was on a mission. After attacking a southern base, the Heimdall was on its way back to North America but stopped responding after picking up an important package. So a team is sent to check up on it. Our protagonist, Jack Inglis, is talking to Lieutenant Jessifer Manning, having a very natural human conversation.
Lieutenant Manning, what is that?
It's nothing. It's just part of my stuff. Who's in the picture?
This? It's my brother.
Oh yeah. Your brother's on the Heimdall, right?
So of course we have to find Jack's brother, and when we approach the carrier we get gunned down. After crash landing, Manning vanishes. The pilot Leonard is injured, so we go to find him a medkit. I do have a major complaint though, the way it introduces its monsters. As we leave Leonard, we see this. Not a lot of build-up or fanfare, we just kinda see the first basic zombie type right away, you know, climbing up out of nowhere. Usually survival horror games love to play with its reveal and building up the tension, but at least we're gonna have a fun reveal for the protagonist himself, right? Nope, Leonard's helmet falls down and then the monster right behind it, and Jack shoots it down in a cutscene. What an obvious missed opportunity. Think about the first zombie in Resident Evil, the slow build-up, having it stand up and bam, now you gotta deal with it. Whether you shoot it, whether you run away, it's up to you. The first monsters in Silent Hill does this too, or even Deep Fear. It puts you in control when you meet the first monster. It makes you panic. You're not really used to this game yet, and you're kind of put in a situation where you have to figure things out quickly. You don't know how much damage it takes, you don't know if it'll permanently die, and all of these things you have to figure out right now because you're in danger. But no, in this game he just shoots down on a cutscene and, you know, and then this goofy goober comes waddling in, and this is the one that we actually have to take down. I don't know why he's walking like that, but whatever. It's kind of fun to see this neat little targeting system which will hover over different parts of the monster's body, but of course as usual, the head is always the best way to go. The controls are okay. I think the turning is a bit slow, so often you find yourself doing really slow turns around corners, and this game is almost exclusively 90-degree turns, so you always feel like kind of a bumbling idiot. When tank controls are done well, I think they're genuinely incredible. I wouldn't change or remove it from any game that does a good job with the control scheme. I think it can add a lot to an experience, and it makes it easier to deal with changing camera angles. This game though, it feels like it uses tank controls and fixed camera angles more out of obligation than anything else. It doesn't feel like it's very well thought out. Sometimes the camera will even clip through stuff in cutscenes. Enemies can be off screen without making a sound, so it feels unfair at times. Anyways, after wandering around a bit, seeing a few areas with a genuinely well crafted atmosphere, we finally meet another person.
Who is it?
It's me, Lang.
Jack?
I love how casual he sounds. Who is it? Jack asks about the monsters, but Lang hasn't seen any. We inform him of Leonard's death and Manning going missing. Lang gives us the task of finding 2 discs to access the system because
this computer's running wild. It won't tell me anything about the ship.
Whatever that means. We can save at these funny looking terminals and move on to grab some ID cards to access new rooms. The next cutscene is so weird and funny I can't do it justice by explaining it. I'm just gonna show you an abridged cut down version.
What happened? What's going on? Hey, are you okay?
Stop! Don't get any closer! Who are you? Are you infected too?
I'm Sergeant Ingalls. I'm part of the Spark team sent to investigate the ship.
Spark? You're a little too late. This is not a human anymore. Here, take a look with this.
What is it? What's going on?
What is going on? Don't you believe what you see? I am Terry, the ship doctor. I was finally able to capture one of these things alive and conduct some experiments, but the ship is already full of them.
What?
Damn!
Hey, what are you doing?
It is all because of Ark.
Ark?
This monster looks like a human, but it's not. It's an inferior life form.
Hey, stop! Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly sane. And you? Are you really a human? You're not. Ark.
Hey, wait. What are you talking about? What's Ark?
Look around you. You have arrived in hell. I can't trust anyone anymore. Soon, you too will feel the hopelessness.
And as soon as the cutscene ends, the zombie immediately lunges at you. I don't even know if you are able to avoid it. After taking it down, I checked the computer, which just explains that the doctor has been trying to cure this virus. He realized that people who are infected don't really show any signs until they suddenly just become violent. And he had to use those funky goggles to be able to tell who was who. He was going to dissect the monster that he caught. After reading that, these little spore guys that look like Flood from Halo jump out at you. Grabbing a new ID card gives us access to a new area. We get a call from Aaron Burke. I love how he just shows the 3D model of his head. It looks so goofy. He basically just asks us about what's happened so far and tells us to not get emotional and focus on the mission. Alright then, asshole. He keeps saying that too, over and over throughout the game. It's really funny.
Sorry, this is no time to get emotional. It's just that now is not the time to be emotional. Hang tough, Jack. We don't have time for emotions.
There's this weird green text that I guess is just there for aesthetics, but it's also really distracting because it comes and goes really fast, and it's some kind of weird advertisement for Jellicoe, the developer, as well as the game carrier itself. The text reads, "When you think big-time heavy-duty console developers, Jellicoe probably isn't one of the first companies to mind. That's all about to change, however, with the introduction. And what is it that makes so special? Carrier has several things going for it. It features its share of originality, featuring an intrepid crew out to stop a naval carrier from returning to port with a cargo of deadly experiments gone away." And it just keeps cycling these 3 lines over and over. I'm assuming they meant to say that the experiments have gone awry and not away. I don't know. The grammar is so bad and the spacing between letters is really odd. I don't know what they were thinking with adding this. It just takes me out of the experience once I noticed it. It'd be one thing if it was smaller and harder to read, but it's like right there. It's kind of funny to see that they really felt this was going to be some breakthrough title. The fact that they thought this game was going to put their name up there with other big time developers, as they put it, well, that didn't end up working out. Moving onwards, we reach a room that has direct communication to the NTA.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Man, I love how nonchalant the delivery is. It's obviously a corpse, but Jack still goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's so funny. Of course, Jack takes the chance to use the comm link, but gets cut off mid-conversation and loses contact with the outside world. After this cutscene, I was messing around with the controls and I noticed that when your pistol is held up, he aims right away. But if you're at ease, he gets into this weird stance before aiming. It's kinda strange. So turning and aiming is always snappy, but if you aim, stop aiming, and then aim again, he takes a second to start aiming. Also, if you walk backwards and aim, he snaps his neck in a really bizarre way. Heading out of the radio room, I get jumped by this guy who just walks up to me. I thought he was a zombie for a second.
It's hopeless. It's impossible to leave.
Brilliant. He gives me a data disk and looks after me in this jittery way. After this, we meet a guy hiding from a monster.
There's something over there.
I don't see anything.
We're shown bloody steps on the ground, which it even zooms in on. This again is such a wasted opportunity. Imagine if he told us that there was a monster in here, and we just saw bloody footsteps while walking around, while we're in control of the character. It immediately would make us go, "Oh shit, there's an invisible creature here." But instead, the cutscene makes it clear as day, and then Jack uses his goggles to see it, and then begins to shoot the monster all in the cutscene. There's no tension. I mean, I do have to finish the monster off myself, but man, even when there's some cool ideas, it takes control away from me just so it can show me everything instead of letting me figure things out. Let the tension happen to the player and not to the character in the cutscene. There's so little thought put into how the player feels. At least the dialogue continues to be entertaining.
Stay away from me.
Calm down, I'm part of the Spark team.
Spark team?
Yeah, we're evacuating survivors to the flight deck.
Alright, I'll go there.
Also, even though it's set in 2023, you still use VHS tapes, and the tech feels very 90s, which I kinda love. The map system is just like in most survival horror titles, and it really makes it a breeze to figure out where to go next. There's this kind of groove I get into with these games, trying to figure out where I have to head to, what I've yet to do, and despite its flaws, it still scratches that itch at a base level. Limited ammo and healing items, finding key items, reading logs and memos, puzzles. It's not a small game either. It takes like 6 to 8 hours to beat, which is a pretty good length for this genre, though I don't feel like it's nearly as replayable as most others. And there isn't a lot of music or ambient sounds in general. The atmosphere isn't sold as well as it could have been, and the areas are very samey, which makes it kind of annoying to backtrack. I found myself having to check the map all the time because I could never tell where I was at. Everywhere looks generally the same, and at least we still have amazing voice acting.
Who are you?
Spark team, put down your gun.
Spark team? Are you human? Really?
Yes, put down your gun.
I don't know. You can't trust anyone here.
It does also stand out with its invisible monsters and using the goggles to see who's really infected. They even put you in situations where two people claim the other is a monster and you gotta shoot the right one, which will net you some useful items. It's pretty neat stuff, even if it's simple. After getting through Deck 2, we face the first boss of the game.
Hey, what are you doing?
You? I'm activating the elevator. Stay out of the way! I got it!
It's too dangerous. Get away from there.
Amazing. I recognize that scream sound from SpongeBob. They use it many times throughout the game too. Anyways, this fight kinda sucks. Just shoot the eye when it pops out, that's it. The tentacles deal constant damage when they touch you, so just move out of the way. It'll send out these little spider guys and Jack will always auto-aim towards them because they're closer to you. And that's really annoying because they barely deal any damage and I just want to shoot the stupid eye. Everything about the fight feels clunky and weird, but at least it's easy. It's not really frustrating. And I guess that goes for the difficulty of the game as a whole. Something that negates a lot of the item management is your welder. It shoots an electric burst and has unlimited ammo. It's a tiny bit weaker than a pistol, but it's still super usable for taking down enemies. And even without that, you get a lot of ammo. Just like a lot. I feel that Carrier just begins to rely on overwhelming you with enemies as a form of difficulty. You'll walk into a room and there'll be 3 guys just right there that charge at you as soon as the door opens. It feels more cumbersome to deal with than anything else. Also, you shoot with the same button that you use to interact with stuff. Generally that's fine, but if you want to aim down by pressing down on the D-pad and shooting at the same time, you will instead do a quick turn, which can really screw you over when you want to shoot enemies on the ground. And there's this weird glitch that happened to me twice where if you shoot a monster during its death animation, it has a chance of getting stuck in its idle animation. Really strange stuff. I'm gonna get into late game spoiler stuff now, so skip here if you don't want to hear the rest of the story. Eventually we get in touch with the Doctor, the creator of Heimdall, the aircraft carrier. He tells us that the mutants are related to a life form called the Ark, which was picked up at some deserted island. It's a plant-based entity that they didn't know could take control over people, and as of now they're unsure why they were told to take Ark with them. At least that's what we're being told. The plant-based rooms we've encountered so far are a result of the Ark spreading and taking control. It covers doors with mushrooms that need to be blown up and cacti which you need to remove with water. Eventually we get in touch with our brother, Bob, and Lieutenant Manning as well. We found a dying man saying that they took the stuff. The memo explains that they were getting something for the Southern Cross, the terrorist group that the ship we're on was meant to fight. There was obviously spies among the crew as the Ark was being kept in secret from a lot of the people here, grown in a hidden place. We walk in on Manning handing something over to Lang as they both act super suspicious about it.
Is everything okay?
It's nothing. Lieutenant Manning and I were just discussing our duties. Isn't that right, Lieutenant?
Yes, that's right.
I see.
Of course, Jack suspects nothing. We then get a call from Bob, who's in danger. It's a long trek, but Jack gets there too late. Bob switches on the light so we can kill these fuckers, as they are unkillable in the dark. After that, we have a tragic farewell scene with Bob. Well, as tragic as the game can convey. The music is neat at least. Bob explains that the Ark is taking over his mind and he can hear its voice.
I can hear the voice of Ark.
He pleads with us to destroy it, and so we leave and he takes his life. Eventually, the Doctor gets back in touch with us, exclaiming that the computer was never malfunctioning, but was instead taken over by Ark. After finding documents discussing the potential military use of Ark, we also have to dissolve some gunk off an emergency key to get to the Doctor. And we finally come face to face with a big ol' monster that we actually got to see a glimpse of a while back. And the reveal is pretty awkwardly paced. This whole cutscene is super bizarre. And man, this boss fight is so bad. You can't do damage to it while it's attacking you. So you kind of just shoot once, move a bit, shoot once, move a bit. Sometimes it'll swim into you and you can't really do much to dodge it because the water's so high. You just gotta tank a bunch of damage. It's so clunky. It's not scary or tense or anything. It's just annoying. At least the design of the monster is kind of cool. After this, we get a short time limit to shut down the weapon systems before it uses it to launch missiles at nearby nations. We have to shut down the main system and then 2 subsystems, and these annoying invisible snail things are in the way. They show up halfway through the game and they just have this stupid area of effect electricity attack, and you just gotta shoot them twice and they're done. But again, they're invisible and they don't make any noise, so you never really expect them. After that, we talk to Lang again, and he's so obviously taking a part of Ark with him, and Jack even questions it.
Captain, that's the capsule that Lieutenant Manning had, isn't it? What's inside?
Nothing. Forget about it. It's just something headquarters wanted. But you better get going, unless you want the Doctor to be bait for those monsters.
It's so obvious what's going on, but I guess poor Jack is just too trusting. The Doctor calls us and starts cackling like a lunatic, so we have to go find him fast.
There are 35 billion years of memories alive in Ark. And again, thanks to Ark, the Earth will once again become a paradise.
Doctor, what happened to you? Doctor, you are already...
Stop! Nothing will change by killing me. More importantly, don't you want to meet Ark? I will open the flood partition, which will provide a way to the engine room. Go and meet Ark and listen to its voice.
And finally, we're face to plant with the Ark. It tries to convince us to join it.
Can you see it, Jack? It's the Ark of life. For humans who only know destruction, Ark's brilliance is too much for the eyes.
But Jack refuses. He unlocks the quarantine area and destroys the original plants that Ark stemmed from, and then meeting up with the Colonel, they plant explosives around the ship and prepare to flood it and evacuate. But then...
Let's get out of here!
Doctor?
Go! Jack, let me handle this.
Colonel!
The partitions are going to close. Hurry! Don't make my death meaningless.
Colonel! Colonel! Colonel!
And he tries to blow himself up with the Doctor, which does not work as the Doctor continues to chase us.
Damn, it's still alive.
And even when we get to the elevator, he comes running after. I love this glass shattering effect. It just like despawns the glass. It's awesome.
Damn, it's still alive.
After taking out the creature, the Doctor gets to speak to us as himself one last time.
Run, Jack. Go back. Take with you the warning of Ark. While I am still human.
And then we fight the true final boss. It's kind of annoying to shoot him. I feel like the crosshairs don't appear when they should. It's weird. But eventually he goes down. I had plenty of grenades saved up. And we get the hell out of there. With the obvious sequel bait in Lang's hands as the carrier sinks. There's also a second scenario where you play as Jessifer. It's a lot shorter, starting with Bob finding her unconscious. She explores the ship, encountering plant life, and talks to the Doctor. He gives her a disc containing all known data about the Ark, which explains that it's a natural force come back to reclaim the Earth because humans have taken more than they were supposed to, and the natural order must be restored. This is also what we find out, that the computer system that Heimdall was based upon is organic, though they don't really go into detail on how that works, other than how it has some connection to the Ark. Nothing too interesting happens otherwise. It's just kind of a short side story that concludes with Jessifer escaping and writing about how the Ark is a threat to humanity, but also how it's trying to restore order, and it's kind of generic stuff to be honest. And that's Carrier. It's really rough. I've seen some like it. Many say it's fine as long as you don't compare it to Resident Evil, and I guess that's all well and true, but it's not really a well-made game. It's charming, and it tries to scare you. It really wants to build up this mystery, but I feel that it plays its cards too quickly. Everything is so simple to piece together. The bosses suck, the characters and plot is paper thin, the areas are samey, there's loads of backtracking, it barely has music, and it feels clunky to play. And despite all of that, I kind of love it. It's really cheesy and it tries its best. It's super rough around the edges, but it has an undeniable charm to it that I just couldn't deny. I was smiling most of the time playing this game. It's just so strange and fun and weird. There were plans for a PS2 sequel, but it did get cancelled. It was titled Carrier 2: The Next Mutant. Despite Jaleco's ambitions to become a big name publisher, Carrier would not carry them there, and instead they fell flat and slowly dissolved. But hey, at least they gave it a shot. That's all I got for you this time. Thanks for watching.